Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful day with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. I thank you very much for joining me today. Um, Here it is. We're in the first week of April. And as of 7:08 this morning, Mercury ended retrograde. It stopped going into retrograde. So we're still going to feel the residual effects, as they call it. But nonetheless, it's over from March 14th to now. So it's always a period of 21 days. And the next one won't start until July 17th. And then after that one, the next one and the last one for the year will be November the 9th. They're all under water signs, water into fire in all instances. I do want to let you know that the show is brought to you by several sponsors, which is U-Juice, a very beautiful beverage from Trinidad, Jamaica. It is the most tasteful juice one can imagine. Also, Nicholas Brooklyn is celebrating over 50 years in business at 1396 Fulton Street. And in fact, on the 27th of the month, they're going to be featuring King Simon there. All right. As you see, Queen Afua, also Hank Rising's son, and Nia Love. They will be featured there. And in fact, the three of them will be guests on my show, including King Simon on the 23rd, I do believe, that Wednesday leading up to the day of the event. Also sponsoring is Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly, Kimbaley, and the go-to _ Also, she is also now focusing on business from an astronumerology perspective. So just go to her site, see what's going on with that. Also, Numeralytics.biz with Queen Bee, who is our newest sponsor, promoting the show, and I thank her very, very much. Also, she is offering a discount. So between now and the 20th, if you order a chart, you will get paid. You will get a discount of 20%. All right. And last not but least, also Jazz Aphrodite. Please, you can get her books. You can purchase it at jazzaphrodite.com. It's available on audio as well. I don't have the audio, but I have both the hardcover and the softcover book. And if you love books, you would love to feel this. I mean, all I can say, it's a great, great book. Not just the feel and the look for it, but the content as well that's most important. So before I start with the subject, let me tell you about today's forecast, all right? This is Monday, April 7th. I do believe I got everything right. The sun is in Aries, the moon is in Leo. Mercury ended retrograde this morning at 6:08 a.m. It is a 4 universal month, a 5 universal week, and an 11 universal day. So for those under the signs of Cancer and Pisces, or if you're born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, or the 29th of the month, well, this should be a very important day for you. One of the things I want to talk about, let me get this off the screen. One of the things I want to talk about was events for April, because April is a very interesting month, especially to the United States. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to start it off, but what I want to do is start it off this way. In November of last year, Ms. Kimberly and I did a recording. It was talking about the numerology forecast for 2025, considering the zodiac signs and the events for each month. So what I want to do is share with you exactly what was said at that point. I think I got to get up. I'm trying to get like Simon, all right? I've got to get up where if I do this right, it should show where now don't forget, this was in November. We didn't know, at least the host and I did not know who would be the president at the time. So here we go. Now we move into April. Now here's the thing. Just as this country has good months, April is definitely one of the stress months to the United States. First of all, 3 presidents, all Aquarians, have died in this month of April. This is a month that's normally very challenging. And because it's a 4 universal month, It means order and purpose, that one should have a sense of why you're doing what you're doing. Now, last month in March, yeah, you can get out there and be spontaneous and creative and imaginative. That's not how it works in April. You must know why you're doing what you're doing. You should have a sense of order, a blueprint, a roadmap, or something to follow, some kind of construction. You know, you just don't build a house because you just feel like building a house. You got to have a blueprint. You got to then know when to lay the foundation, then lay the cornerstone, and then build upon there. So if you can think of that, because April is a fall period, it's going to be very restrictive. It simply means that people need to watch where every penny comes and goes, literally. The rule of thumb, since it's going to be in a restrictive cycle, is begin to pay yourself first. Don't ignore, I need the bills paid, so and so. No, you need to start building a little nest egg. This is one of the few countries that puts more emphasis on debt, how much debt you can be. So one time, I guess, it was about $36 trillion in debt. By the time this is aired and April comes around, it might be 40 something trillion dollars in debt. And so what happens is the dollar get weaker, the prices go up, food goes up, rents and mortgage goes up. The average car now is $42,000. So no telling what it's going to be in April of 2025, okay? And a used car, forget it. Used ain't used no more. That's like buying a car that was like 10 or 15, 20 years ago. It's just going to be that kind of crazy. Now, the week that's going to be more problematic for this nation is in the second week, from the 8th to the 14th. And because it means there's going to be a conflict, there's going to be a bipolar situation, there's going to be a love-hate situation. So what I'm saying is be very, very careful and mindful how you deal with your loved ones, how you talk to your children, how you talk to your employees, because don't forget the whole theme of the year is about 9 anyway. And so if the economy is going to be really affected, which I hope it is not, it means people are going to be on edge. You know how they say you come home and kick your dog? Well, you kick the kids too, and you kick the wife, and you kick the husband. You want to kick everybody. I mean, it's going to be a very crazy time in April. So if people really feel like tightening up, don't forget the elections of November of 2024 will have passed, whichever president is now running it. And it's definitely going to be about the economy. And since 4 is normally a period that symbolizes restrictions or limitations, people in the month of April should take a waste not, want not, lend not, borrow not. So I would say the second week from the 8th to the 14th, and the final week from the 22nd to the end of the month, people are going to have to really be mindful of what they're doing, why they're doing it, especially when it relates to their finances. Washington, D.C. is going to be in the news. Atlantic City is going to be in the news. Richmond's going to be in the news. Salt Lake City, London, Barbados, Trinidad is going to be in the news. And if a person is an Aquarius or a Leo or a Gemini, or born on the 1st or the 4th, the 10th or the 13th, the 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month, they too will probably be in the news in some way, shape, or form. For me. Okay, let me stop this. Okay, so there you have it for what I made the prediction in. That was in November of 2024. Again, the presidency hadn't been decided whether it was Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Now it's history. But nonetheless, notice in April, are we not talking about this economy? Are not people on edge? The stock market, I think the 500 plunged about over 1,600 points. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things are happening. Tariffs have incurred, which means prices are going to go up even more. So it's not Lloyd saying it, it's just that I just found it interesting that I would say that. So for those of you who would like to see the entire year, I suggest that what you do is you go here. All you got to do is go to, let's see, right there. Just go to Google, type in 2025 numerology forecast for the zodiac signs, and maybe I'll play month of May. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but that's interesting. Now, let me tell you about what I was making a reference to, that April is a problematic month for the United States. And what happens is 3 presidents have died in the month of April. What makes it unique is every single one of them were under the sign of Aquarius. The first one to die in office was William Henry Harrison. Okay, he was sworn in on March the 4th, and he died 31 days later. And what makes it unique with Aquarians, they'll always stand out in some way. Well, he is known to giving the longest speech. His speech ran for his talk ran for 8,445 words. Now that's a long conversation. And in fact, that's how he caught pneumonia that day. Okay, no jacket. Okay, feeling himself. Okay, he's a 9, so 9 is fire. And he's also not only the 9th president, but he was born on the 9th and died 31 days later in office. Then the next president to die in office in Aquarius was Abraham Lincoln. Now, what makes him unique? Not only was he the 16th president of the United States that denotes the shattered citadel, but he was also the first president to be assassinated in office at the Ford Theater on April the 15th, the evening of the 14th, and died the following day on April the 15th. Okay, died in April. The last one, who was also an Aquarius, was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Now, he, being Aquarians, you know, Aquarians got this thing about kind of changing the rules. Well, he did, because the original swearing in date of the U.S. president was on the 4th of March, as you see there. He changed it back into the sign of Aquarius, which is on January the 20th. So when you saw President Trump, President Obama, President Carter, or all those other presidents back to Lincoln, to Nixon and Kennedy, well, he was the one who changed it from March the 4th and moved it back into the sign of Aquarius on January the 20th. He served 12 years, which is 4 times 4, okay? He's the only president to serve that. So the one thing about Aquarians, I know we stand out, but like, boy, in the world of the presidency, I think you got a good example. Now, here's what I want you to do. I took my app. You know, I have a mobile app called a Star 8. And what I did, because I talked about the week of the 8th through the 14th, which begins tomorrow, in fact, for this country. So what I did was, this is the outline of the United States. Okay, the 4 is to the left, knowing it's the 4th of the month. To the right, you'll see the planet that governs it, Uranus. Then below, you'll see all the numbers that are in green that are very favorable to this country, which is the 4, 1, 2, and 7. Then you will see all of the numbers that are very antagonistic to this nation, which means 6, which governs May and October, 8, which governs January, and 9, which governs April and November. And don't forget, speaking of that, another air sign president was assassinated in November, which was John F. Kennedy, on November the 22nd of 1963 in Dallas, Texas, okay, soon as he had landed in Love Field. So what I did was this. I says, okay, I took my app and I then did, what is the month for the United States for April? Hold on, let me see this right here. And this is it here. Okay. Now, I want you to look closely. This calendar is designed. Every one of you who have my app, a Star 8, ASTAR 8, when you download your calendar, you will see you will have a cluster of green stars and red stars and neutral stars, such as you look at the 14th. Well, if you look at April, which is one of the antagonistic numbers to the United States, not Lloyd Strayhorn saying it, it's how the numbers are rolling. I can tell you, yesterday was a disaster on the 6th. Today is maybe kind of mellow, but tomorrow and Wednesday, there's going to be some dramatic, I don't want to hear it, news. And in fact, there's some people already trying to say, okay, maybe we need to tone down all this tariffs. And maybe we need to tone down Elon Musk too, or whatever the case is. Then I can tell, so the 8th through the 14th. And then if you look at the last week, you'll see the week of the 22nd to the end of the month. So when I see these red star days, these are the days in which this country is probably going to be really, really in the news and not a good way. So whatever star days there are, which is the 10th and 11th, the 13th, 16th, 20th, 28th, 29th, and 22nd, along with the 19th and 25th, of course, those would be more favorable. But there's nothing but green. And triple reds and double reds throughout much of the chart. So if I says, okay, Lloyd, so let's take May, because don't forget April and May are also one of the problematic months to this country. So this is what we have in May. And as you see, I got to be honest, things is not going to get any better. Okay. But that's how it's going to open up in the first week. You'll see. Every single one of you who have my app, you can do this. So not only do you put in your birthday, but if you go all the way to the far icon on the bottom right and click, and you can change the date. And all I just did was I substituted my name and birthday and put in the birthday of the United States, July the 4th, 1776. And this is what their calendar looks like, okay? You can do this. This is designed to do just that. So what I'm saying is, so when I made that prediction, actually, I did not make that assessment looking at the calendar at that time, so much as looking to see how things was configured for the United States in a 4-personal year, especially in April, because April, again, the months of January, April and May, October, November are always challenging to the United States. So November, okay, as you can, John F. Kennedy was assassinated in October. There was a stock exchange in October of 1929. Then in January, there was this shuttle that exploded as it went up into space. April has always been problematic for this country. So, and then talking about wanting to go to war, if somebody had called me, I'd say, guys, we really need to chill a bit, okay? And let April just get out the way. But what do I know? All I'm saying is that the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. And so I didn't want to make it that Lloyd is just saying it, but I want you to see for yourself. And this is what my calendar had configured. So if you got my app, a star 8, download it on your phone, and you'll see that you too will see your green star days, which is go for it, or your red star days, which means slow or slow down or stop, period. And so when I saw all these triple stars for this country this month, I know that tomorrow's going to be a humdinger, and probably there's going to be, when people get up and read the headlines, is not probably going to look pretty on Tuesday and Wednesday. And there's this insistence that, well, this is going to work. And I'm saying, looking at this calendar, I don't think so. Okay, but that's me. Anyway, what I want to do is I'm going to read some of you at this point. And if you got any questions, just let me know. But this was fun to do. Wednesday, I'm going to be talking about, because April was also the sinking of the Titanic on April the 14th of 1912. Now, yes, it was in the middle of the ocean, but it came as a result of by J.P. Morgan, a famous financier born on the 17th, because originally the Titanic was supposed to arrive in New York City on April the 17th, which was J.P. Morgan's birthday. Yet he wasn't on the ship. So I'm going to talk about that on Wednesday. I always find that intriguing. Okay. Anyway, I think that movie, The Titanic, that was come out about a decade or so ago, won all those Oscars, because to this day, it's always very intriguing how everything went wrong. But if they understood that Mercury was retrograde at the time, it would have made sense. So I'll go into more detail on Wednesday. In the meantime, I'm going to take your calls, your questions, things of that nature. And please support my sponsors. Now, I want to run past them again, if you don't mind. Well, yes, please. And please give I do want to thank everybody, especially you, Juice. I want to thank Nicholas Brooklyn, over 50 years. My buddy King Simon's going to be there on the 27th with his crew. They're going to be here the Wednesday before that, live and in person. So you can see what's going on and be there to participate. I want to thank also Ms. Kimberly for Manifest on Purpose. And also she now, for those who are into business, it's interesting. J.P. Morgan, when asked the question, does astrology make millionaires? His response was, no, it makes billionaires. I actually read from a quote by Evangeline Adams, the famous astrologer of her day, that she says, not only did I know J.P. Morgan, I taught J.P. Morgan astrology. And to this day, now he died on March the 13th. No, he died on March the 31st, 17 days before his birthday in 1913. But to this day, over 100 and something odd years, JP Morgan Bank is still in the news, okay? So it just shows you how much the power of astrology is used. Also, I do want to thank Queen Bee for Numeralytics.biz. Please go to her site, support what she does, because numbers do matter. There is no question about it. And she is offering a discount. The discount is 20% when you sign up. And also, if you, I think you use Lloyd, there's a code name, LWL, Live with Lloyd, okay? And you will get a 20% off these. All this is on sale that she has until the 20th of April. That's in a matter of weeks. Also, please make sure you have this book. Okay, you can get the audio to listen to it, but you need to read it. You need to flip them pages and trust me, it is so engrossing. My originally numerology group has actually formed a book club, and this is the book they're now reading presently, and they're all talking about this, almost scandalous. But anyway, you can purchase the book on jazzaphrodite.com. Please purchase a book on jazzaphrodite.com. There are not too many books left. Me, with my greedy self, I got the hardcover, the soft cover, but I'm into books, okay? Somebody got to be into something, and books is my thing. But you can also see it in audio. Okay, I think that's it. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and answer some questions. And I saw somebody want to start a business, then I suggested you reach out to Ms. Kimberly, who has featured a numerology business. Let me go back to the top. Okay. Okay, Big Aries, today is your birthday, I guess. I'm excited. Today is my solar return. So with you born on the 7th, Billie Holiday is born on this day. William D., the matinee idol, was born on this day. Billy D. Williams. That's it. Excuse me. Let me say his name correctly, please. It also indicates that you are the strong, silent type. You will be an Aries, such as an Aries 7, like Aretha Franklin was an Aries 7, Chaka Khan was an Aries 7. So it simply means that you are fire, and yet you bring to the table of life intuition. Your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 6, and your best days are always on a Monday and a Friday. And I am very, very excited too. Today is also your solar return. Wow, okay, we got a party up in here. Okay, good. And I think it's the same. I see Big Aries, and then I see Aries, so it's one and the same, okay? And always, Jazz Aphrodite is so classy. Please, and please like, share, and subscribe. I forget to say that. It's always at the top of the paper. I just go right to the digits. And I do not DM you for money. I don't. That's not my style. So if somebody's saying, well, love, I don't talk to people like that, okay? No, even if I know you well, it ain't like that either. So here we go. So she said, thanks, Jazz. Okay, good enough. Let's see. Key love. All right. So some of these I'm going to go, but if you got any questions, give your birthday. But let me say this too. Let me stop for a moment. Because I have a very limited time, I'm doing something with my next Power Series here. And it's, well, let me take this off a second. Okay. It's an open session. It's on the 20th. It's on Jazz Aphrodite's birthday, actually. What it is, I'm taking no more than 16 to 20 people and admitting them into this special room. This will allow me to spend about 2 hours plus with you, answering your questions in more detail. Only because of time restraints, like I'm already at the half hour, the bottom of the half hour for this hour program. Well, it would allow me to answer your questions more than just one, talk about loved ones or mates or things of that nature. So all you got to do is click on the QR code, sign up, and I'll see you there. But I'm not going to take no more than 16 to 20 people. That's it. So I can give you all my time and attention. Because I do try to read everybody, and I can't. And only when I hang up and look at the full comments, I says, wow, there's a lot of people I missed. And greetings to you, sir. And okay, so let's see. Let's see here. All righty. So I haven't seen birthdays yet, but I will see them, I am sure. Hi, Goldie Lee. Thank you. These are all the regulars. Y'all are like really, y'all know how to make a guy feel good. Thank you. That's all I can say. But definitely sign up for the Power Series. So just put your phone to the QR code. It'll take you where you need to be to sign up. And then I'll see y'all on the 20th. And whereby we just really just get down into the weeds where I can answer without the time limit that I'm on. Okay. So, and also thanks, Sylvia. Much appreciated. So anyway, I do want to thank you for that. And on the 22nd, I'm going to be giving a course on palmistry. I love numerology first, astrology is second, palmistry is third. The hands tell a whole lot more than you know. Do you know when you go into a store now, like I think like Whole Foods, they actually have it whereby you put your hand up with some device. I don't know how it works. I ain't starting it. They don't need a copy of my hands. Okay, they got enough information on me already. So that's one less they're gonna get from me. They know my credit card, debit cards, this, that, the other, social, or phone number. You know what I'm saying? Go try to get insurance or get a car and stuff. They got all that information right there for you. Your phone number, you name it. So they don't need to have my palm print too. But the point is, you will learn the power of palmistry, the power of your hand. You will learn what makes some people great, why some are challenged, and you're going to learn the art of the hands, the fingers, the thumb especially, because that denotes your will or lack of will. The lines in your hand, do you have the line for money, the line for success, the line for whatever? I can tell you people who will have control issues. And this is an example of somebody who is totally not normal. And not normal, not in a bad way, but in a way that you're normally supposed to have three lines in a hand. In this palm, I see just one line primarily going across the top, straight like a ruler, as if somebody took a ruler. That is not normal. Okay. So what I do is I teach, it's just the beginners, because there's a lot. There's a lot to palmistry. But for those that get this initial understanding, so if you want to, just click on the QR code and get your information, signing out how to sign up and be there. We already got some people on board already, so you feel free to join us so we can find out what's in your hands. It's interesting. Adam Clayton Powell did his famous political speech called What's in Your Hand? And Frederick Douglass at the expo, I forgot the expo in 18 something, talked about the hands, that we got the five fingers, but we're all connected. So it's very, very interesting, them two brothers, all right? So there's a lot to it. And you have more in your hand than just your fingers and whatnot too. And even when, the elders say, you point a finger at one person, you got all these fingers pointing back at you. So all these little things that are very important. So now let me get back to the business of doing this. Okay. All righty. So, okay, let's see what we have. Yep. Yes, please go download the app, Astar8, ASTAR8, on Android and Apple. I meant to put up the flyer for that, but I've got quite a bit of things going. And I have to agree with Dana Cooper, numbers don't lie. 2 + 2 is 4. That's all I can tell you, okay? Now, see, the beauty of numbers is this. It removes emotion from the equation. They'll talk about so-and-so and so-and-so was into their feelings. But when you talk about numbers, it ain't got jack to do with your feelings, okay? Now, I tell you this. If somebody gives you money and you short on money, yes, you get into your feelings to make sure you get all your money. That's true. But in a very logical way, numbers remove all the emotional equations out of the feelings. Whether you feel it right, wrong, or different, you can have an argument. At the end of the day, 2 + 2 is going to be 4, not 4 1/4, 4 1/2, 4 3/3, 3/4, whatever the case is. 2 + 2 is going to equal 4. And when you get that correct, then you understand why I choose numbers, because it leaves the emotional equation out of it. So, okay, we did you. You open up with it. Okay, so this is the great leader. All right, that makes sense to me because the great leaders are number one. They're born on. It's interesting if you look closely at the birthday. Look how many ones and nines are in this birthday. This man's got 2 1s and 3 9s. Nines are the leadership numbers. 1 represents the alpha, 9 represents the omega. So therefore, this particular person, by their very right, should be a leader. It's interesting. For example, New York is ruled by the number 1. Okay. And in fact, it was registered on July the 26th under the sign of Leo. I forgot, back in 18 something. Got so many facts in my head, but anyway, it's under the sign of Leo, and New York numerically adds up to the number 1. Well, the first African-American mayor in New York City, David Dinkins, was born on the 10th. Eric Adams, the second and only Black mayor of New York City, is born on this birthday, September the 10th. Because 1 is a leadership number. So yes, you would do well in law, medicine, science. You would do well as an entrepreneur, an inventor. Once you understand the numbers, it help guide you along a path that is most easiest for you. Okay. So if you have any confusion about what you do or what you need to do, just follow your numbers. It's like following your North Star. It helps guide you and think. This is why when I got into this, I felt that every school system, when they have, especially when people are getting into junior high, high school, going into college, where their guidance counselor, this should be a requirement for their guidance counselor to know the birthdays of those students to help guide them. Well, maybe you do better in this area than that area, whatever the case is, and just give direction. Because I know when I was coming up, they said, what do you want to do? I don't know. I mean, I just, I was looking at, well, whatever the case is, I was distracted. I'll put it like that. So anyway, Dana Cooper, you are April the 5th. So you just had a birthday on Saturday. Yes, you did. So happy belated birthday to you. You are a fire sign with an air number. So that means that this is the year for you to strike out. Now, in a way, it may be challenging. Why do I say that? Because when I took the personal year you're in, by adding the month, the day, and the year you're born, you happen to be in a 3 personal year, and 3 is somewhat antagonistic to the number 5. Why do I say that? Well, because 3s and 5s are very similar. 1 is air, that's 5. The other is fire, that's 3. So there's this combination. So this is why 3 and the 5 can get along up to a point. But what happens is 5 rules mental irritability, quick-temperedness, things of that nature, and 3 rules emotional upsets. So if both of them are having a bad day at the same time, is not going to work. So you will find that you'll get along up to a point. So in this case, with you in a 3-year rules Jupiter, which is good luck and expansion, things of that nature. But to the negative, since 3 is somewhat challenging, are also rules gossips and scandals. So it simply means if you with some people and they start talking about the sister down to this and she ain't, why she wearing the same clothes, don't get caught up into that. I'm telling you, you need to leave that and let them deal with that. You going about your business. That's what you need to do. But it also means expansion, that things open up for you. It also means self-improvement and creativity and imagination. It also means going somewhere where there's either foreigners, foreign languages, foreign countries. It also means self-improvement. So back in March, you should have gone back to school. And this month, we'll find you in a very reflective mood. But your key numbers are always, without question, the Dana Cooper, not leader. But your numbers are the 5, 9, and 6. And your best days are always on a Wednesday. These are your angel numbers. See, the 5, the 9, and the 6. And your angelic days are always on a Wednesday, followed by a Tuesday, followed by a Friday. Okay? So anyway, all the best. Okay, this is CJ. They are born on the 18th. And they are, so this is a very important year for you. The reason is, if you notice, you're born in the 9th month. You're born on the 18th day. 1 plus 8 is 9. You're born in the year 1962, which adds an 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9. So you are a 9 across the board. And this is a 9 personal year, and it's a 9 universal year. So this is going to be a very, very interesting year for you, more than you can ever imagine. 9 brings about inspiration and motivation. It's universal, global, international. It normally brings out the best in people. And if anything, with all this 9 energy going through your complete birthday, CJ, and plus your name, CJ, those initials add up to a 4, which means things that are odd and unusual, secret enemies. You have to be most careful of how you handle your business, not letting people kind of suck you into arguments and accidents and confrontations and whatnot. You need to leave that alone. If somebody want to beef, say, you know what? I listened to Lloyd, or Live with Lloyd, and he says, I'm going to wait for you later. You would be surprised. And especially with 9 people, I always suggest to them, 9 rules alcohol. And I always suggest to a 9. And this is what I do, especially if a person's paying me or they're spending their valuable time with me. I will tell them they should not become the best friends with alcohol, because that is one of the challenges with 9 people, especially overindulgences and things like that. Other than that, stay away from guns, knives, confrontations, fender benders, things of that nature. But your numbers are the 9, 5, and 6, and your best days are always on a Tuesday, followed by a Wednesday, followed by a Friday. Those are your best days, okay? All right, okay. And Tara said, happy birthday. Okay, and Yellow, this is 1010. Yellow Soul, the creator. How is finance going to be for me for April? Well, finances should be interesting for April. Now, there's a caveat. Here's why I say that. Because astrologically, your opposition sign as a Libra is in the sign of Aries that we're in right now. Not only that, when I looked at your birthday, you're in a 2 personal year going into a 6 personal month. And 6 is somewhat oppositional to your 1. So it means that this would be a good time. I would say one of the best weeks would be, this best view would be actually tomorrow, the 8th through the 14th, when you were in a 1 personal week. If you got my app, you'd see this, okay? And it'll help you to kind of time when you need to do things. That would be the best time to do it. Basically, it's the time to go back to school. I would imagine Yellow Soul, the creator. See, I don't know why I'm assuming you might be a female, but if so, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't do your hair, something with your figure, your weight, your diet, or whatever the case is. But this is a good time to also deal with adjustments, and you'll be in a romance and finance cycle at the same time. Your key numbers are the 1, 4, and 9, and your best days are Sundays and Tuesdays. Okay, hey, Michael, what's up? Okay. Terry says mine was on the 21st. I'm an Aries. Yes, you are. So you are a fire sign with a fire number, and your numbers are the 3, 6, and 9. And you happen to be in a 6 universal personal month. Excuse me. You happen to be in a 6 personal year, which is good for you to deal with home, with family, your personal life, health, appearance, things of that nature, making adjustments, getting some kind of compensation. This is your romance and finance cycle, I would say, for the most part, Tara Redmond. And I'm wishing you all the best. And your most key numbers are the 3, 9, and 6. And your best days are always on a Thursday, Friday, and Tuesday. Okay. Dana, I'm with you. How 92 of y'all going to be watching only got 33 likes? What's up with those? Ain't the right numbers. If there's 92 of y'all watching, there should be 93 of you saying likes. Okay. If you're enjoying the program, just hit the like button. It is free. Notice since I started, I think this July will make about 3 years or something like that. Maybe 4, I don't know. But I've never once y'all need to give up some money up in this piece, and the liking don't cost nothing, especially since a lot of us want this, give me, can you spare, is it free attitude. So the likes are free. So take advantage of it, okay? Okay, Professor Reed. All righty, May the 5th. I'm born at 9:16 a.m. So that means 6, 7, 8. So that means your sun is sitting in the 11th house, the house of Aquarius. That's where your sun is located, in the 11th house, if you do your chart. And anyway, you are a earth sign with an air number. So I'm looking at those 5s, which denotes variety, flexibility, versatility, multifaceted, multi-talented, and dimensional. It means in any 5, whether it's a male 5 or a female 5, I always suggest the secret to holding on to them is to let them go, which sounds totally counterintuitive, but 5 is air. Air isn't just over here. Air is in your home. Air is outside. You know what I'm saying? So there's no restriction on air. And plus, this year, you're in a 1 personal year, which means new beginnings, new directions, new opportunities. This year is about laying the foundation for what you want moving forward for the next 5 years, 9 years, excuse me. Okay. And it tells me you work well under pressure. You have probably gotten into multiple relationships. Nothing personal. You could be married, but somebody kind of want to still see if they can get to know you better, whatever the case is. But anyway, your numbers are the 5, 6, and 9, and your best days are Wednesday, Fridays, and Tuesdays. Okay, Michael Romero. Okay, buddy, 11, 11, 69. These are master numbers, and even the year you end is at a 25, which adds up to a 7. So if I did, it would be 227, which would add up to an 11, all depending on how you do it. And yes, you're in a 4 personal year. Yes, you know how to do it. What Michael Romero did was this. He took 11, 11, and in the place of his year, he substituted 1969, and in his place, he put 2025. That's how you get your personal year. So 2025 is the universal year that everybody's got to go through. But then you've got your personal year yourself. Okay. So you got some people said later for the world, later for the universe. What's up with me? Well, you did yours right. You're in 4 years. So that means this is your year to tighten up. This is your year to have some kind of a roadmap or some kind of direction or focus or intentions as to where you're going, as against doing things helter-skelter. And this is about being as organized as humanly possible. And because 4 is ruled by Uranus, the planet of the odd and unusual and unexpected, you got to throw that into the mix as well. But your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 6, and Mondays and Fridays are your best days. Okay. About starting a business. Well, if you were going to start a business, I would wait until August. August is one of your months, and you'll be in a 1 personal month. Okay. And you need to consult Miss Kimberly about business for numerology. She does that. Okay. Now, numerologics, much love. Thank you, Aries Samoon. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's see what we got. Okay. We got Brandon Sanders. He is a 9th month, and he's a number 9 in the sign of Leo, so he's fire. And when I look at his birthday, it tells me pretty much, Brandon, most guys, especially Leos that are 9, normally think they're the greatest thing since ice cream. Okay, you can't tell them too much anything. But your zodiac sign of Leo is a leadership sign. 9 is a leadership number, which tells me you would be very unhappy being dictated to, being bossed around. You go and pick this over here, and you lift this bale and do that. I would not talk to you like that. I'm sure that people got some of their feelings hurt too. So what do? You get your act together and you focus on being the leader that you were made to be. It's just that simple, okay? All of us have qualities. I don't care who you are. No excuses. We all know how to make excuses. It ain't just black people. All kind of people make all kind of excuses. But there's no excuse for not doing something if you really, really want to. And you're born under a fixed sign. So do you know that this is the same birthday as Doug Williams, the first African-American to win the Super Bowl in 1988 for the Washington Redskins? They broke the whole thing, and now you got black quarterbacks all up and down the league, okay? So Leos are groundbreakers. So you be a groundbreaker too. But your numbers are the 9, 1, and 4. And your best days, my friend, are always on a Tuesday first, followed by a Sunday, okay? All right. I enjoyed that one. Getting in your business a second. And by the way, this is your year, and you're in an 8 personal year. So this is your year to make some major moves. And look at all those 8s too. So it tells me you have relationships with older women, which is none of my business. But I'm just trying to say that if you always found older women more to your appeal, okay, then you know what's going on with that. Because I'm looking at all those maturity numbers. You got 3 8s going through there, plus Leo is an old soul sign anyway. So when you got all those combinations, so it wouldn't have surprised me if it wasn't an older young lady, which is none of my business, to introduce you to Sex 101 when you're growing up as a kid. Okay? So anyway, you're 9. Okay, this is Jennifer. Jennifer is April the 7th. That's today. Happy birthday today. Your numbers are the 7, 2, and 6. Your best days are Mondays and Fridays. And you are a blend of fire and water, which makes steam, of course. But the Aries side represents that passion, and the 7 represents intuitions and innermost feelings. And so this year, you happen to be in a 2 personal year, 2 and 11. It all depends. I'm doing this all on the top of my head, but there's a proper way that I feel to do it to get whether it's a master number 11. But let's say this, if it is a master number 11, that means you need to aim your sights to a higher elevation of thinking and doing. If it's a number 2, still no excuse. But what happens is the emphasis is going to be more in the change of residence, change in diet, change at the workplace, as well as changes in relationship. But the point is, take your time. Okay. Thanks, Jennifer. All right. Question. If a building number of an apartment complex is in opposition for me, but my specific apartment number is compatible, should I avoid the building altogether? Well, that's a very, very good question. If the building number is in opposition, so let's say you happen to be a 4 bliss and the building numbers are 6 or vice versa, but you happen to be, you're a 4, but you're in apartment 103, which is a 4. Well, that particular unit within that building would be an exception. But I noticed that when people are in a building that's in opposition to their number or zodiac sign, that's when they have this attitude, they can take it or leave it. But when a building is more in alignment with their sign, in alignment with their number, they just really feel right at home. Okay. So that may be one of the things, or the next time you decide to move, try to pick a building that has your number compatibility, if possible, or your zodiac sign as a second choice. If not, then, pick a number that's kind of neutral. But because you didn't give the number, your birthday bliss, I couldn't tell you. But obviously, if you've asked that question, you must feel something. And it simply means that, like, just hang in your unit, don't hang in the building. Okay, if that makes sense. All righty. Good morning, Sister Maya. Good morning to you. This is Bridget. They are October 22nd. They are in a 5 personal year, which means they're at the midway point in the 9-year journey. And that simply means that this year will bring about some changes, hopefully for the better, opportunities to your advantage, and then, just all kinds of things that make life go your way. 5 is very friendly to you because, in fact, your key numbers, well, it all depends. If you look like you kind of like, it all depends. I met some people born October 22nd, and they are Libra, the very, very last degrees of Libra. And then I met some people born October 22nd at the very last or the very first degrees of Scorpio. Now you see why when you're cusping, that is anybody born around the 20th, 21st, 22nd, why you need to have, if possible, the exact time of birth and the location of your birth. So because then when you do the horoscope, and then they can figure out exactly where you are at that time. But if I had to give you, now, let's say you are a Libra, then your key numbers would be the 4, 1, and 5. If you're a Scorpio, your numbers would be the 4, 1, and 9. If you're a Libra, your best days would be Sundays and Wednesdays. If you're a Libra, you're Scorpio, your best days would be Sunday and Tuesdays. So it all depends on where you were born, what time you were born. Like here in the United States, it's about 8 o'clock. There in London, 5 hours away, it'll be about 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. If I go to Hawaii, I'm 6 hours behind. Now you see why you need your time, because you can have persons born on the same month, day, and year, but in different locales. And that changes the whole equation. This is why I love this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really interesting. But anyway, your numbers are the 4. I'm going to kind of go with Libra a bit. So I'm going to say 415. If you feel Scorpio, then it's 419. Okay? Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. Good evening, Queen D. My girl, she's born on the 20th of June, if memory serves me correct. Okay, because she helped out. Okay, Lloyd, I'm helping and encouraging my daughter wants to start her online clothing business. She's born August the 14th of 28. Any favorable times for her to start? Well, first of all, she's in a 4 personal year. And one of the times to start and see 4 rules. She's born on the 14th. And first of all, her key numbers are the 5, 1, and 4. What does that mean? That means her best days are always on a Sunday, a Monday, and it's on a Wednesday first, a Sunday, and a Monday. Her best months, pick up on this, is the months of February and June. So it will be in June. Why? Because she'll be in a 4 personal year. 4 added to the 6 personal month equals a 1. And anytime you want to start something, that's great. That's when she should start, especially around the new moon. Where's my moon book? Man, I don't have it on the table. But she should start in a new moon, or she should consult Miss Kimberly, who does business horoscopes and anything. Any favorable time for her to start this year? That would be June. June. And in fact, I would recommend somewhere around either the week of the 15th to the 21st, but particularly the 22nd to the end of the month. See when the new moon occurs, okay? New moon is to activate things. Full moon is to finalize things, to culminate things, so to speak. But it tells me your daughter is bright, engaging. She would do well in communications, business, science, things like that. And if she's got an online clothing business, hey, reach out. I'd have her as a guest on the show, talk about it. Any of you out there think you have something to offer my Live with Lloyd family, I would love to share it. Yes, it's primarily numerology and astrology, but I think maybe you'll get bored. See, I don't get bored because this is my passion. But I have to also keep into consideration it may not be everybody's passion up in here, okay? So what I do is I try to vary it up, and I bring other people on that has nothing to really do with the stars, but actually do with your betterment all around so that you are well-rounded in all the cases. So if that's the case, Mo, send me some information this way. And, if she's interested, we'll see what we can do, okay? Don't cost nothing either. DMB, born August the 29th. All right, you're in a 1 year, a year for starters, a year for new beginnings and new directions and new opportunities, a year for you to do you. Because Virgos is the sweetie pie of the sign, and the number 2, well, they just don't know what to do with themselves. They just so nice, and they're always giving, and they loving and hugging and advising and whatnot. Well, this year you got to kind of step it up and focus on you. Let me explain. When you're in a 1 cycle year, it gives you an opportunity to do what's in your best interest. It's not about what the kids want, your folks want, your mate wants, your neighbors, your coworkers, your boss wants. It's about what DMB wants for DMB 757. Just that simple. And the reason why is, how can you move forward to help somebody if you don't get your stuff together? So that's what a 1 cycle year allows you to do. It allows you to get a fresh start. It allows you to take a second breath. You know what I'm saying? And the illustration I often give, they'll tell you when you're on a plane, if there's a change in the cabin pressure and the mask drop down, even if you're holding an infant just 2 days old, and the instinct of a mother is to put the mask on the baby first, you're supposed to put the mask on you. Well, that's the kind of year you're in. That's the kind of year you're in. So your numbers, by the way, are the 2, 7, and 5, and your best days are always on Mondays and Wednesdays, and also Fridays, okay? July 18th, what should you expect in the month of April? Well, you're in a 7 personal year, so 7 plus 4 is 2. So this is a kind of interesting, challenging month for you because the 2 governs your sign of Cancer, but it's antagonistic to your number 5. So to be kind of iffy and whatnot, but I'll put it like this. Since you will be in a 2, one of the best weeks would be toward the very tail end of the week. And if you have my app, a star 8, and download it on your phone, you'll see and you follow the green stars. The green stars tell you that's when you move. And the red stars tell you that's when you slow, hit the brakes, or don't do anything altogether. And the more green stars that are piling up, the more the answer is no, no, no. Okay? Not maybe so. But anyway, it tells me you are a fighter. You're born at 6:20 a.m., which means you're home. Your sun is sitting in the 12th house, the house of Pisces. That only would increase your kind of psychic abilities. Born on the 18th, that denotes the power of mediumship, the ability to go in and out of the visible and invisible world. So you have a lot of magical powers about you, Goldie, that you need to take advantage of. And April normally is, April is challenging to your sign of Cancer, but it's very friendly to the number 9, your 18th birthday, which is 1 plus 8 is 9. So you'll find that some Aprils will be really good for you. And then some Aprils you say, man, I can't believe this this was supposed to be my month because it wasn't happening at all. But your numbers anyway are the 9, 6, and 3. And yes, March, April, and May, October, November, and December are your best months, okay? Your husband's birthday is December 7th. He's a strong, silent type, fire and water, very analytical, and he's in a cycle where he needs to do something new with his life. Yes, I see he's 57. He might even be thinking of retiring, but if he's retired, find a new hobby, paint, draw, photography, do something. You know what I'm saying? That would be good. I think a lot of times when people work for decades on a job and they retire, they feel they don't have nothing to do or be useful. Well, your husband be useful to himself, just books or go somewhere, travel. Sevens love to travel to faraway places, exotic islands and things like that. Take that man somewhere on a trip. Say, honey, pack your bags. We going somewhere with this, the sand, the sea, and the sun. Just that simple. And you know what he'll say? Okay. So his numbers, by the way, are the 7, 2, and 3. And his best days are always, without exceptions, on a Monday and a Thursday. Okay. Thank you. Okay, this is fun. Okay, Angela Armstrong, March the 14th. Okay, you are air, you're water and fire. So you had your birthday last month, and in fact, it was on the day that Mercury went retrograde on the 14th of March, by the way. Or was it the day there was a lunar eclipse? It was one of them. I know it was a lunar eclipse and Mercury went retrograde at the same time on your birthday last month. But at any rate, you're in a 8 personal year. So this is a year to do some growing up. Yes, I see the year you're born in. But, it's like we stop growing by height, but then we start growing inwardly by knowledge, experience, wisdom, learning from past mistakes, how to improve ourselves. So we're always in a constant state of growth. And that's the kind of level you have to think that you're growing at another level. And by the way, your sun is sitting in the 12th house at 6:55 a.m. But you'll find that you in your case, that this is a time to reach high levels of understanding, consciousness. When a person's in an 8 cycle year like you, it's like all of a sudden you can see what part you've been playing on life stage. And all the people in your life, whether they're the leading characters, the supporting characters and whatnot, what role they're playing in your mix too. This is why it's an ancestral year that I call it, an ancestral cycle, that you reconnect with your past through weddings and funerals and christenings and baby showers and things of that nature. You come of age, you know what I'm saying, where you become more philosophical about the way you look at life, more philosophical about the way you look at your own life, in fact, and where you're going. You'll find that Capricorns and Aquarians and Libras will help you, or those that are born on the 4th, the 8th, the 13th, the 17th, the 22nd, or the 26th, or the 31st of the month, okay? All right, okay. Okay, now this is Queen D, June. Now you're in a personal year, so actually you're going through the same thing as Angela before you, Queen D. So that means you too are coming of age. The one thing I take about the 8 cycle, I call it the finance and romance cycle. Finance in the sense of jobs, money, career, stepping out on your own, building your own business. Romance meaning someone from your past, or someone who is older than you normally would deal with, or someone that you meet that has the ways or access to help your life become easier or better. But anyway, it's growing up, except your numbers are, hey, it's interesting. Angela's numbers was a water sign with an air number. Your sign is an air number with a water number. Y'all are just the reverse, but y'all would get along pretty good if y'all met. Okay, so your numbers are the 2, 7, and 5. And Sean Hardy, your numbers are the 2, the 7, and the 5. So with you being earth and water, it tells me you're a nurturing kind of person. Since you were born at 4:38 a.m., it tells me your sun, your sun is sitting in the first house. Your sun is sitting in the very first house. That's where your sun is sitting at 4:38 a.m. All right. And but anyway, this is your year where you are in a transitory stage whereby subtle changes, especially change of diet, because Virgo is a dietary sign, 2 is a dietary number, and then you're in a dietary year. So like going to Mickey D's ain't your shot this year, which is none of my business. But if for better health, You should be more conscious about what you're putting into your body temple this year. Also, you're going to be changing things around your room and whatnot, around the home, maybe some changes in some of the relationships you've had too. But your key numbers are the 2, 7, and 5. I'm just going to do about 2 more, and then I'm going to have to leave it be. Okay. Sean, I did your birthday. I did your birthday already. Stephen Stone, July 24th, Jennifer Lopez's birthday, and a couple other famous people of note. But anyway, here's what I'm saying. You are a Leo 6. Now, Leos are very, very dynamic. They have a lot of confidence and courage. They have a lot of leadership. And for 6 men, they're normally very good looking. For 6 women, they normally are gorgeous, okay? So what happens is, if you're in relationships, one of the things you may find women saying is that you're a nice guy going in, but you wind up having control issues as they trying to go out. So what I'm saying is, if you understand that, it's about striking that balance, okay? But it indicates you're pleasant. You would have probably done very well in some areas. Sports coming up. You've done well in real estate, banking, law, working for the government in some way. You do well counseling other people, mentoring children, young boys in sports or things of that nature. And you got a strong sense of right and wrong, and influential women will always play a role in your life. Your key numbers are the 6, 2, and 7. And Fridays and Mondays are your best days, okay? I'm just going to do one more, and then I'm going to have to leave it at that. This is why I'm having my open session on the 20th. So those of you, so I can take my time, I'm not rushing against the clock. I mean, I'm going to give it 2 hours. If I need 3 hours or whatever the case is, that's exactly why you're going to join. And in this way, you can not only find out about you, but everybody else that matters to you, loved ones, children's, frenemies, enemies. Is so good, okay? I thank you too, Nova. It is beautiful to see how this channel has grown. And yes, I remain Lloyd, because there ain't no other way to be, okay? And I got to be honest. I've got to give my mom and dad credit for teaching me not to be a knucklehead. Got a lot of knuckleheads out here. I use stronger language, but I'm sure some children watch this show too, okay? But you know what I'm talking about. And so anyway, thanks for the kind words, Nova. All right. Okay. Beautiful numbers in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This person said they received a palm reading when they were 19 years old. I'm in my 40s, and that person was exactly right about what she saw in my 30s. Yes. There's a lot. For example, the headline, see that line there in the center? Anything down is under 35. So if I'm talking to a person 35 and under, I go to my headline that goes across there and I go down. If you pass 35, I go up. So there's an art. These are all the things. So anyway, I gotta go now. But anyway, let me tell you this. The show has been brought to you by my great, great sponsors, which is you juice, thank you, with passion and lime and ginger. These are great juices. Also, Nicholas Brooklyn, out at 1396 Fulton Street. And they're going to have a wonderful event coming up on the 27th with Brother King Simon and Cafunia and Hank Rising's son and Nia Love. And they will be on here the Wednesday leading up to the day event. Also, the sponsorship is Kimberly, KIMBALEY _ And for those of you who inquired about the business, especially you, Mel, I think it was, have them go there. Or, and especially if she sets up her, and especially if seriously, if she sets up her clothing line, have her on the show. You know, I don't want nothing from her. Nothing. I do want her to raise people's consciousness. I would like to give her some exposure. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, she's on her own. And a Leo too, listen, she'll do well. So go there if you, for those who got businesses. Also, Numeralytics with Queen B, where money really matters. Money matters. I mean, excuse me, money. Well, numbers is money, but numbers really matter too. And she's offering a 20% discount on a chart that will last up until April the 20th. So please take advantage of it. She's also offering a discount on her wear apparel too. So please take advantage of that. And last but not least, one of my favorite ladies, Jazz Aphrodite, please. She has an audiobook that you can register, and listen to. in your car or while you're in your home cleaning up or doing things around the home. But more importantly, there's nothing like reading a good book and just the text of a book. You can tell she put a lot of love, just not the content of it, the storyline in it, and how the numerical cycles led up to a story like a novel, man. It needs to be turned into a movie. But for those of you, you need to get this book. So go to jazzaphrodite.com. That's at the bottom, jazzaphrodite.com, to purchase your book. It's in a limited edition, okay? And so if you want to get your chart, not just United States or anything, just go to my, just download my app at a star 8. Go to a star8.com or go to your Android or Apple store. The newsletter is out for April. It's absolutely free. If you want to hear the April version of the newsletter, just go to Kimberly, KIMBALEY _ on YouTube, and you hear it. So the way I write it and the way I say it is two different ball games. But if you want to see the entire predictions I did from each month, so what you heard was up until January. I might play a little May too, but April seemed to have been spot on, and we did this back in November of last year. So it seems to fit what is going on right this moment. Okay, not that I'm a prophet or anything, but I'm interpreting numbers. So I know exactly what's happening. So I'd like to get the credit, but numbers get the credit. Now, for those of you who are not able to join this evening, please join me in my open session, but I'm only taking about 16 to 20 people at best. So it's on a first come, first serve basis. Now you can wait till the last minute, but click on that QR code and make your presence be known that you would like to be a part of the Power Series on that 20th of the month. It's on a Sunday, by the way. Okay. And for those of you too who are interested in Palmistry, that's on the 22nd of the month. And so everybody, I do want to thank you very, very much. I will be back Wednesday. I'm going to be talking about the Titanic and some other things, and also answering your questions too. Everybody, all of you have a very, very nice day. I thank my moderator, and I thank all of you that support me every single week. It's really a nice feeling, and I thank you very much. And no, I'm not going to change. I'm glad the show is getting better, but I'd like to be Lloyd. I'm very comfortable with him, okay? I love him too. Y'all love yourselves too, okay? Y'all have a nice day. Bye. Oh, here